Welcome, evening, good day. I hope you have a coffee and welcome. Today we're gonna talk about guilds, dungeons, and the danger economy. This is part one of part three, so this is a huge. Let's begin. An adventure guild in 17 worlds or world within is not a tavern with a board on the wall. That image is too small. It works for simple stories, but it cannot carry this universe. Here, a real adventure guild is a licensed civil institution built to manage dangerous professionals, monster contracts, dungeon expedition, civilian protection, salvage, casualties, sanctions, ranks, records, and the pressure between private violence and public need. The guild is not a standing army. Excuse moi. It is not a hero club. It is not a noble private blade drawer. It is an institution that turns dangerous people into registered, evaluated, accountable field assets. That does not make every adventurer noble. It means that the world learned something practical. Unregistered sword spells, summons, and violent talents wandering through the desperate settlements can become as dangerous as the monsters they claim to hunt. Or, yeah, something like that. Registration matters. A person is not recognized as an awful adventurer without it. Standard registration includes a true name of legal working name, world and settlement of origin, race, emergency contact of kin, field role, magical capability, where relevant, of course, known injuries or curses of or conduct, an entry fee or equivalent service obligation. Registration grants legal status in this universe. It does not grant trust. That distinction is critical. A newly registered adventure is still probationally unless recognized by credible transfer. Probationers may do career work, controlled escort duty, local nuisance suppression, camp support, salvage assistance, low risk scouting under supervision, and other beginner tasks. They may not lead expeditions, take deep dungeon contracts alone, handle sensitive relics, or pretend courage is competence. The guild exists partly to protect civilians from adventurers and partly protect to protect beginners from their own pride. The rank system is a field trust system, not a vanity ladder. The public ranks run from F, E, D, C, B, A, S, S plus, demigod, and god. From beneath that, the deeper guild bands run copper, iron, silver, gold, platinum, military, orcarium, adamantine, demigod band, and god band. That means they have bands like a necklace around your neck. Let's say your military or platinum or gold. So you understand what band means. Okay, let's continue. The public rank is what ordinary people see. The deeper band, or the necklace, which I just explained, is the professional layer used to record, pay, deploy authority, casualty protocol, interworld recognition, equipment expectations, and how seriously the guild master treats the person standing at the desk. F rank, or the Cooper band, necklace, whatever you want to say, it is not a shame. It is a beginner field duty: hauling, cleanup, camp support, carrier aid, mapping support, corpse recovery assistance, watcher duty, controlled salvage, and learning discipline before the real combat trust is granted. A rank grants first minor combat clearance. D is basic working adventurer. C is standard professional. B means serious danger. A is elite. S is a strategic mortal rank. S plus is apex mortal crisis rank. Demigod and god rank exists above the mortal ladder, but they remain constrained by the guild law, civil law, cosmic law, politics, and restraints. A god rank adventurer is not simply a strong sword. That person is a political, spiritual, military, and civilizational pressure event. The public ladder ends at the god. If something unclassifiable appears above known categories, the guild records observable facts, witness statements, dangerous handling, restriction, and senior judgment without inventing a public classification. The word primordial belongs originally to short book of life entry, not to the normal guild ladder. Promotion is not based on fame alone in this universe. The guild looks at the successful contract history, judgment under strain, reliability, teamwork, honesty in reporting, ability to survive, repeated field burden, conduct toward civilians, and whenever the adventurer can protect others instead of just winning the fights. The guild does not need celebrities. It needs people who do not get others killed. Contracts are screened. A serious contract does not simply appear because somebody paid enough. Guild review examines legitimacy, clarity, payment credibility, fraud risk, political consequences, ecological consequences, war law implications, expected threat level, local hold capacity, and specialist needs. This is one of the strongest anti-stupidity systems in the settings. A noble cannot walk into the guild hall and buy violence under polite wording. A merchant cannot post clear troubleshoot or troublesome locals, as if that is a monster contract. A village cannot demand S rank force because its pride was embarrassed. A proper guild master is expected to say no. Guild masters matter in this universe. A real guild master is not a random noble appointee, mercenary proxy, court favorite, celebrity, or decorative seal. A valid guild master is an experienced ex-adventurer or retired field professional. They understand contracts, casualties, fear, hunger, panic, retreat, discipline, gear failure, civilian terror, adventure pride, and the difference between courage and stupidity. They are old scar behind the desk. That should be obvious. Large guild halls are complex institutions. They may include registration desks, record archives, contracts, intake, payouts, verifications, appraisals, casualty scribes, sanction officers, quartermasters, healer rings, map vaults, testing yards, special registry, messenger relays, secure briefing rooms, butcher wings, butcher schools, recovery rooms, and cheap lodging for registered adventurers. As you see, this is not a small information. This is a lot, a lot. A serious guild hall is close to a civil emergency institution than a drinking house. Testing grounds are normal. If a guild cannot safely evaluate a person, let's say you're a necromancer or a summoner or a warrior, species, summon, construct, altered body, foreign martial style, or unusual magic profile by sight and record it tests. Strength endurance, controlled sparring, shield trials, spell output, healing capacity, summon control, trap awareness, retreat disciplines, equipped burden, and panic response may all be checked. Testing itself is not an insult. Guessing gets people killed. Specialist certification exists separately from rank. A high rank adventurer is not automatically a healer, curse handler, relic appraiser, dungeon surveyor, engineer, anti-plague specialist, ritual containment expert, rune safety officer, portal hazard examination, trap handler, mimic identifier, or monster butcher. Some contracts require both ranks and certifications. This prevents the classic disaster where a famous sword arm is treated as qualified for everything. So when we talk about the Adventure Guild, we are not talking about the board full of quests and drunk heroes. This is not here. We are talking about a public institution designed to manage danger before the danger becomes collapse. A strong guild also protects its own legitimacy. If the public begins to believe guilds cards are bought, ranks are faked, contracts are corrupt, or noble money can turn adventurers into private enforcers, the guild becomes dangerous to civilization instead of useful. That is why the records, witnesses, sanctions, testings, and all field experience matter so much. The guild must be trusted by frightened villagers and respected by dangerous professions at the same time. That is not easy. Civilians need to believe that the guild will not send fools to die or monsters to their doorstep. Adventurers need to believe the guild will not pay correctly, classify danger honestly, and not waste their lives for politics. Rulers need the guild, but should not own it. So the guild stands in a hard middle place, close enough to power to act, independent enough to refuse, and experienced enough to know when everyone in the room is lying to themselves. Thank you very much for listening. This is a conclusion for part 1, and see ya at the part 2.